The moment we Packers fans have been waiting for the past 9 months seems like it might finally be coming. Of course, I'm talking about Christian Watson's return to the football field, and Sunday Night Football might be the time we see him for the first time since January 9th, as we're feeling and we're hearing right now that return is likely. Why do we think that? Well, we heard it straight from the horse's mouth yesterday after practice. He said, my goal and my plan is to play this week, talking about Sunday Night Football against Pittsburgh. He said that that's been his mindset every week, but also added the conversations with the team indicate that that's in the direction it's headed, which is easily the biggest part of all of this. Now, I will admit to you, Matt LaFleur did speak about this today before practice, and he added that that's a great mindset. However, ultimately, that decision is going to be a medical one. So it's not 100% in the hands of Christian Watson. It's never been 100% in the hands of Christian Watson, but we got to remember what Watson said. He feels like conversations with the team indicate that it's trending towards him playing, that the return for Sunday Night Football is likely. And this is phenomenal news for the Green Bay Packers. If Christian Watson can play on Sunday, I think that's going to have a massive, massive impact on this game. There's multiple reasons why the return is great. Number one, his explosivity. I feel like, and I'm sure you share this same sentiment, that this offense over the past 7 weeks or so, it's been good. It's been solid. When you look at the points they're scoring per game, they're top 10 in the league, but they're lacking in an explosiveness, and that's what Christian Watson will bring. If you look at since 2022, since he entered the league, his yards per catch is 16.9. Among wide receivers with 75 or more receptions, since he entered the league, third highest in the National Football League. Now, why does that mean that's great news for Sunday's game? Well, if you look at explosive play rate, the Packers' offense is first. And if you look at the Steelers' defense, they're all the way down close to the very bottom of the National Football League with 30th. So Christian Watson coming back, it's only going to increase the explosiveness of this football team. We got more to talk about with Watson. We're also going to talk about Matthew Golden in a second. Don't go anywhere. We are looking at our season-long sub-battle between Bears now, and right now we've got our biggest deficit we've had yet, down 55 subscribers. If you hate the Bears, if you love the Packers, also if you love daily videos, all for 100% free, you found the perfect place to be. Hit that subscribe button, click, boom, you're done, it's over. Let's talk about what else it means him returning possibly to this offense. I feel like it's going to open everything up. Him being back, what that does for this offense, what that does for the other playmakers in this offense, you can't really quantify it. And he tends to agree. This was from yesterday. He said, I feel like just me being out there is going to help open everybody up. I think they'll have to obviously respect my ability to beat them deep for sure. It's just another person they have to be wary of, regardless. I've made plays in my career, and obviously defenses have to respect that. And frankly, I could not agree more. Christian Watson being back, although it's another mouth to feed for Jordan Love, it's also another player that other teams have to worry about. Meaning, in past weeks, when they could maybe, stick a couple of guys on Romeo Doubs, maybe stick a couple of guys on Tucker Kraft, maybe do the same with Matthew Golden or Josh Jacobs. That's not the case anymore with Christian Watson being back. That's another person they have to worry about. And when you look at these weapons and just take them from talent value and face value, I don't know if there's a team in the National Football League that has as many weapons as Green Bay does right now. And that's even with Jaden Reed being on the injury reserve. And that's where it brings me to my next point. The injuries are hurting this wide receiver room right now. Okay? They were hurting him pretty badly. Obviously, Jaden Reed hasn't played since week 2 when he broke his collarbone against the Commanders, got surgery on his foot, and got surgery on his shoulder after that injury to heal up that Jones fracture. And then Dontavian Wicks, today we learn, is unlikely to play due to a calf injury. So that would leave, without Christian Watson, just Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, Malik Heath for your wide receivers. This team needs Christian Watson back right now. This wide receiver room needs Christian Watson back right now. It's Vegas time. I'm setting the line at 39.5 receiving yards for Watson against Pitt. If he plays. Would you go over or under that? You let me know your answer in the comment section down below. And let's get to our second good news item. Is that Matthew Golden, I've got a feeling, is going to absolutely feast against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I've got a couple of reasons why. Mainly, it has to do with the way that they played defense, okay? Matthew Golden, he's had an interesting rookie. Started off very, very slow. Those first 2 weeks, 2 catches, 16 yards. And then weeks 3, 5, and 6, you saw him pick it up 52 yards, 58 yards, 86 yards. Week 7 took a little bit of a step back, but I've got a feeling that this is going to be the week that he absolutely gets it all figured out. I think he's going to find the end zone this week. I think he's going to get over 100 yards receiving this week. And I think it's because of the way that Pittsburgh plays defense. So if you look and you think about Mike Tomlin and what Pittsburgh's doing this year, their favorite coverage is called man free. And they run that about 20% of the time, which doesn't seem like a lot, but to run a single coverage that many times, that's a good bit. So what it is, it's a 5-man pressure up front. So you're bringing 4 defensive linemen and a linebacker. Maybe 4 defensive linemen and a nickelback, 4 defensive linemen and a safety, maybe 3 defensive linemen, a safety, and a nickel. It doesn't matter. You're rushing the quarterback with 5 guys. You got 1 deep post safety, okay? He's the only one that's playing zone because after that, it's man coverage across the board with the 5 other guys. So you got 5 guys rushing the passer, 5 guys in man coverage, 1 deep post safety. It looks a little bit like this. Now, you might just think, Joey, this is cover 1. It's not. Because you're rushing 5, you don't have that extra zone in the middle of the field. So what that means, and Gage, you could send me full screen here for just a little bit. What that means is that if you've got a wide receiver that's incredible at creating separation, there's no help in the middle of the field for the Steelers, you can just absolutely abuse this Pittsburgh defense. And that's something that teams have been taking advantage of all season long. If you look at wide receiver performances against Pittsburgh so far this season, 160 yards to Chase, 126 to Jefferson, over 100 to Smith and Jigba. Garrett Wilson got 95. Hunter Henry got 90. They've played in 6 games, and only one of them have they held a wide receiver to under 90 yards. And Matthew Golden, if you look at the rookies, average yards of separation per catch, he is at the top of the list at 3.7. We all knew that he was a fantastic route runner coming out of college. We loved his speed, but it's how he runs his routes with that speed, his ability to control his body that makes him ultra special. And you're going to see that, I feel, against Pittsburgh on Sunday. I want to know, will Matthew Golden score his first touchdown against Pittsburgh? You may a yes or a no in the comment section down below. We got one more good news item to get to before we get out of here. Before that, make sure you guys go to chatsports.com/GBLongsleeve. You can get this long sleeve t-shirt for just $17. Look, let's be honest with each other. Things are getting expensive. Life's getting expensive. Trust me, I get it. Picked a very, very bad time to become an adult. Well, you can get this shirt for not very expensive. It's very, very hard to find Packers gear for less than $20. I'm giving it to you right here. Chatsports.com/GBLongsleeve. That link is in the comments. That link is also in the description of today's video. Last piece of good news, Devonte Wyatt's trending positive. Okay? We know that he's been out since that Week 4 game against the Dallas Cowboys. And since then, I feel like we've been able to feel that and see that when it comes to the interior of this defensive line. And Coach Matt LaFleur spoke to the media yesterday and said that he would be at practice, which he was. See how he progresses through the week. Obviously, he's got to prove it. The season so far, Devonte Wyatt was phenomenal. 143 snaps, 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 8 quarterback pressures. I feel like we had a massive question of who's going to step up in Kenny Clark's absence. And that has been Devonte Wyatt. He means a ton to this defense. Not only in their ability to stop the run and his ability to plug up gaps in the center of the field, but he also has been getting to the passer at a pretty good rate. And when you have to worry about the interior of the defensive line and your pass protection, that only just frees up the edge rushers, okay? Now, I wouldn't expect him back against Pittsburgh. So if you're expecting him to play on Sunday night, I wouldn't bet on it. No Chauncey Billups or Terry Rozier jokes right there. But I am happy that he is trending in the right direction, okay? I am very, very happy to see him taking those positive steps and moving in that right way to be back on the field very, very soon for the end of the season where things are going to get pretty spicy. I'm curious, do you want Wyatt back soon? If you do, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video, okay? Hit that thumbs up button if you want him back on the field as quickly as possible. Before we go, we got to get you some Packers trade rumors before we get out of here because we're getting so close to the deadline. I know we've talked a bunch of trade rumors this week. I'm going to hit you some before you get out of here. Easton Butler, our main man for this week, he gave out a tweet last night and talked about the Green Bay Packers might really want a running back because they've called on 4 teams. The Miami Dolphins, who we knew and talked about yesterday, the Giants, the Saints, and the Baltimore Ravens. I would expect with the Ravens, they're calling about Keaton Mitchell. I would expect with the Saints, did Kendre Miller go on IR the other day? I think he did. I don't know who they're calling about for the Saints and Giants, but we know A-Chain for the Dolphins, and I would assume Keaton Mitchell for the Ravens. I don't really personally know why they're calling on running backs. I don't think that's the biggest need, but if they feel that way and they get a good one, shoot, I'd be happy with it. That's going to do it. I'd also be happy if you guys followed me on social media. Twitter, Instagram, same handle. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Daily videos right here on the Packers Report. We'll see you next time.